Wow, I have got an impressive pile of makeup here in front of me to try out for you guys. I'm so excited. I've got the Westman Atelier concealers. I have a whole bunch of shades that they just sent to me. Very excited. Lisa Eldridge sent me her liquid silk eyeshadows. I cannot wait to try these. Laura Mercier came out with brand new lipsticks, so I pulled out a bunch of really beautiful nude shades. These are the new Caviar Smoothing Matte Lipsticks. Can't wait to try those shades. And then I went out and purchased the Dior Forever Skin contour stick. I had, if you guys have been watching me, I did get shade number 2, but I decided to go and get shade number 1 because it looked cooler, not just lighter in tone, but cooler as well. And then I also picked up the Dior Rouge Blush in the shade 100. It actually turns out to be a contour and glow duo versus a blush and glow duo. I just thought it was a neutral shaded blush. Anyway, we'll try that out. And then Tom Ford came out with lip pencils. So I thought, let me try one. I got the shade 103 Irresistible. And what else? Makeup by Mario sent me their loose powder that I thought we could try, their setting spray that I also thought we could end with. I've got some brand new brushes. This beautiful Esom set is a synthetic haired set, face and eyes. And it's in collaboration with Sophia Sees Beauty, who is an amazing YouTuber. I'll leave a link to her channel down below. Definitely check her out. I think if you like my content, you'll really like her content as well. Sonia G sent me some brushes. We'll see if we can try and use those. And then I have been meaning to try this Rephr collaboration brush with Alex Anel, who's also a YouTuber here. And this brush looks fantastic, doesn't it? I love it. It's like slightly angled, it's slightly fluffy, it's rounded, it's really light at the top. There's like a light touch to it, but there's like firmness when you press down. Anyway, it looks gorgeous. So yeah, I've got a lot of stuff here to play around with. So I'm gonna start with the Westman Atelier concealers. I really like using concealers as just my base product, just putting it around my eyes and then just sort of like spot concealing where I feel like I need it, like on my sunspots and like my freckles and stuff. So that's where we're gonna start. Now they sent over shades L4, M1, and M2. I believe L stands for light, M stands for medium. So I'm gonna go for L4 because when I was on their site looking at these new concealers that came out, I was thinking that maybe I would be like an L2. So we'll see. Let's see if this L4 works. So here is what the packaging looks like. And this is like a metal tube. Sorry, it's like cold to the touch. This is a metal tube. Interesting. And then there's a little window here, much like their lip glosses. And I believe it's a doe foot applicator. Yeah, doe foot applicator. And let's try this formula. So there is L4. I think that may work for me. Yeah. And the consistency seems on the thicker side. Wow, a little bit thicker than I thought. Oh, that's nice. Quite a bit of coverage. I mean, it is a concealer. I'm going to just start off small. I'm going to put 4 dots there. And I'm going to use this V27 brush from Esom. It's small, it's angled, and it's flat. I think this would be very good for concealer. So let me go ahead and just pounce. I think this L4 is actually a great shade, especially for underneath my eyes. The coverage is quite decent, and there's a bit of tackiness to this concealer, which in the past has always been a good thing for concealer. I feel like the tackier and the stickier the concealer is, the less it moves around. So that is a good thing. Let me go ahead and apply on my lids and then a little bit on my face there. Let's see how it does covering up spots. Oh, not bad. Not bad. It does blend in nicely with this brush. I think because Westman Atelier's makeup, at least in my mind, I always think of as very light and natural. I was expecting this concealer to be almost like a light kind of like serum concealer. It is not. It is actually almost, I don't know, almost like an old school concealer. Does that make sense? Those concealers that were thicker, tackier, they were really meant to be kind of like worked into the skin. It is really nice. Do you see the difference between this side of my face and this side? With just a little bit around my eyes. I think what a difference. And then really evened out my skin tone, just sort of attacking those little spots that I have. Okay, I think I can use this concealer by itself as like a base product. So I'm just going to do the same thing over here. 4 dots. A little bit goes a long way for sure. I don't think you need a ton of this concealer. I'm just going to pounce it in. Oh, you know what? I want to try it just with my finger. So let me get some of these sunspots here. And then use my finger. Yeah, it blends in just as nice with my fingers. Wow, the coverage is great. Do you see how you almost can't see these sunspots anymore? Wow. Hitting around the nose. You guys, I'm pretty blown away by this concealer right now. I can't believe how high coverage it is, but also like I don't need to put it all over my face. Usually when it comes to high coverage products, I really have to blend it out. Otherwise you can really see where it starts and stops. Seamless and high coverage. Wow, that is amazing. And it looks so seamless underneath my eyes. Wow, this is so good. This is so good. Wow, that is amazing. And if you do use me for shade reference, L4 I think is great. Very, very natural. I think if you want to like really brighten up around your eyes, maybe you want to go down a shade lighter, but this is great because it works on my face and around my eyes. That's wonderful. Okay. All right. I've got this Makeup by Mario loose powder. They sent over a bunch of shades, but I pulled out Fair Pink because I thought that would work the best. And I don't feel like I need to powder in terms of shininess. I have really dry skin, so I actually don't mind when I have a little bit of glow. But because this concealer is kind of tacky, I feel like I should powder it down. So I'm going to open this up and I'm going to take the opportunity to use this Alex & Elle brush AA01 from Refer. I'm just going to pick up a little bit and just pounce. Definitely mattify that area. I feel like it made my skin look a little old. Right around here, I may have put a little bit too much. I'm going to try applying the powder with a finger. Sometimes I find just picking up just the slightest amount of powder and then pressing it in really helps. Yeah, I think that's much better. I think I just used a little bit too much on this side. I don't know if you guys can even see. It's just a little bit of a difference. I just feel like it looks a little bit drier underneath this eye than this one. I'm just going to use whatever's left over on this brush and just lightly apply it to where I kind of spot concealed there and around my nose. Okay, well, a little bit goes a long way when it comes to this powder, at least for me, at least for someone with dry, mature skin. I think a little bit goes a long way. Okay, what is next? So I've got some contour things. I'm going to try the Dior Forever Skin Contour Stick because this is a cream product, and then we'll take a look at this. So like I mentioned, I got shade 2, thinking maybe shade 1 was too light. It's not too light. It's just cooler, which I think is a better contour shade. Actual contour shade. That other one is probably a better bronzer. So actually looking at this all by itself, I think it's actually fairly neutral versus it being cool toned per se. But when I was holding it next to shade number 2, it just looked so much cooler that I was like, oh wow, this is very cool toned. I don't think it is now that I'm looking at it all by itself. I'm just gonna swipe right there. And then which brush should we try? Let's try this Esam T59 brush. Look how cute this brush. It looks like a mini like paintbrush, like an old school paintbrush. It's very, very soft, so I'm not sure if it's going to be firm enough to move cream product, but we'll see. This is probably better for powder. I was moving it a little. This product has some fragrance to it. I don't think did I notice it with the other one? I thought maybe the brush had a fragrance. No, it's this product. It has a little bit of fragrance to it. Yeah, I like this shade for contour for my skin tone much better than the two. And this brush is pretty darn good for cream contour. All right, that is the Dior contour stick in shade number 1. Let's open up this rouge blush in shade number 100, which they're actually calling a contour, contour and glow. So let me show it to you. Here's the compact. Looks like their eyeshadow quint compact. And then it is these guys. So it is this one. This is the contour. Here is that contour shade. It is a touch warmer than the stick. I was hoping I could use this as blush because I really like a nude, neutral kind of blush for my cheeks. This highlight, I was worried this was going to be too deep for my skin tone, but I think that'll work. Okay, so let me grab some brushes for this. I'm going to use this Sonia G TF2 brush. And these powders seem pretty hard pressed, at least from what I could tell, at least just from finger swatching just now. They are baked products, so I'm happy to be using a natural haired brush. I am just going to use this as a blush. I'm going to put it on my cheekbones. Wow, these are really hard pressed. I don't feel like I'm getting a lot of pigmentation here. Have you guys tried these? I wonder if it's just the contour. Maybe the blushes are more pigmented. I mean, I went in pretty hard, and I'm definitely picking up product. Maybe it's just not that pigmented. Maybe it's the contour. If you guys have the blush version of this, I think there's maybe 4 blush versions. Do you mind sounding off down below, just letting us know whether or not the blushes are a little bit more pigmented? Like, I'm going in, and I feel like I'm picking up just a little bit. I mean, I had to build it up, but I do like it now that I've built it up. There's the contour shade as blush. Yeah, I get the feeling it's probably just the fact that it's the contour and that's why it's not quite as pigmented, or maybe it's just pressed a little bit harder than the blushes. Well, let's try this highlighter. I am going to use this TF3 brush from Sonia G. It's a little bit more pointed than the TF2. It's also smaller. I'm going to go into this highlight. Oop. Okay, yep, this highlight is much softer. It's very like champagne gold in the pan. It's very champagne gold in terms of the swatch, but on my cheek, I definitely see the champagne gold, but I feel like there's the slightest hint of a pink, just the slightest. Very, very nice. But for both the highlight and this blush, I would not say there's anything really unique or special about them or anything that I want to write home about. They're very, very nice. Their new stick products, on the other hand, fantastic. Love them. Let's move on up to brows. So Billion Dollar Brows has a tinted brow gel, and they sent over the shade Raven to me to try. And this is a women-owned company, and this product is, so I'm trying to read it upside down, why? Vegan, cruelty-free, and paraben-free. So I'm excited to try a new brow product. Here is the tube. Nice little brow wand. Does not seem like there's a ton of product on the wand, which is great. And I see a lot of fibers in there, which is also great. I love a fiber brow gel. Nice. Well, definitely very easy to use. I don't feel like I'm making a mess, which I often do when it comes to brow gels. It has a really nice soft formula. It's more like a pomade versus one of those like crispy, crunchy gels. And I do feel like it's really tamed my very, very wild eyebrow hairs, my very wild and long eyebrow hairs. So that's really nice. Yeah, and I think between the fibers and the actual brow gel, I think my brows look pretty filled in. Well, that's nice. Well, that was like, it was so simple. Color and Control Tinted Brow Gel. shade Raven. All right, now for eyes. I'm sitting here staring at Natasha Denona's I Need a Warm palette. This beautiful baby. Stunning. And then the Lisa Eldridge Liquid Silk eyeshadows. Where do I start? Oh boy, maybe I'll do one eye of one eye of the other. Let's look weird. Let's get ready to look weird. So Lisa Eldridge, she has those Lurex liquid eyeshadows that I absolutely love. They are more shimmery than these. These seem to just be, not just, but is without shimmer. So that's why there's that little name difference, the liquid silk versus liquid Lurex. So these are the 5 shades. We'll do some swatches, but all very neutral toned. You can see up here as well, all very neutral toned. And these are described as lid smoothing, soft focus, matte liquid eyeshadow in a long wearing silky and ridiculously easy to blend texture. So when it comes to liquid eyeshadows, I don't always have the best luck. There are some that really stand out to me because they do work well on my eyelids. And the Lurex eyeshadows from Lisa Eldridge is one of them. So I'm very, very excited for these because I feel like matte liquid eyeshadows are even harder to nail because I do think sometimes they just look like crumbly or they look, crepey a little bit, like they sink into fine lines a little bit too much. So I am very excited to see what she has done. So I'm trying to figure out what shades to go with. I think I like Gaia, which is this golden brown on top, and then maybe a lighter shade like this one or this one. So Irene or Phoebe. So actually, before I do any of that, let me unbox all of these and do some swatches so you can see them like in real life. All right, here are the 5 shades. So from top to bottom, we have Phoebe, Irene, Ione, Thalia, and Gaia. All right, so I'm gonna start with Phoebe, which is this top one here. And I did happen to catch just a moment of Lisa Eldridge talking about applying these. I think it was like an Instagram reel. And she said to make sure that your eyelids were clean and dry and all of those things. And that like an oily skincare or, you know, an emollient type of skincare on your eyelids can interfere with the application of these eyeshadows, or I guess liquid eyeshadows in general. So I am going to make sure my eyelids are clean. Oh, and I see here it says use liquid silk for next level, no makeup, or use as a priming eye base to even skin tone, help your powder shadows apply more smoothly and last longer. Now let's do one thing at a time. I was gonna say, oh, let me put down one shade and then go in with the Natasha Denona, but one thing at a time. All right, so I did put the concealer down on my eyes. I wanna see if it works over that. Okay. I put the concealer down, but I didn't put any powder or anything else down. So that's all I have down on my eyelids. And I'm gonna go in with Phoebe. So let me get a brush handy. I've got the Esom S33 brush, which is one of my favorite blending brushes. I also have the Refer number 14 brush. So we've got synthetic hair and then we have natural hair. We can maybe try both of those and see what happens. I'm gonna put just a little bit of this down. I'm going to go in with the Esom and blend this out. So far, so good. Absolutely seamless. Even coverage, blended out beautifully. It doesn't look spotty. I'm trying to remember what my issues with matte liquid eyeshadows are. Generally, I feel like it picks up itself. So as you're sitting there blending, what'll happen is you'll like pick up the product and then you end up with eyeshadow that looks kind of splotchy. But that did not happen here. Or it's just too hard to move. Like matte shadows, I find sometimes are a little bit thicker than like a satin liquid eyeshadow, and they just become really hard to move and really hard to blend. But this was great, of course. Lisa Eldridge, not surprised. I'm trying to see if these are long lasting. She does call them long wearing. Okay, all right, so that is Phoebe. And then let me go in with a deeper shade. I was gonna do Gaia, but that looks actually a little bit too warm for me. I like this Thalia, or Thalia. It has a little bit of red in there. It's described as a deep rosewood. I'm just gonna put a little bit on the corner of my eye there. And I'm gonna try the Refer number 14 brush. It's like a small blender. And just gonna start to work this out. Oh yeah, these blend nicely. Not bad at all. Okay, I'm actually going to try a little bit of the Gaia, which is the other deeper shade, and just add it right on the edge there. I'm going to continue with this 14 brush. I just want to add a little bit more dimension here. I'm going to take a denser brush. I need a little bit more help with blending. This is Refer's number 2 brush. It's a flat shader, but it's got much shorter bristles. And I'm just going to work this edge here. Yeah, this liquid shadow definitely feels like it sets down quite a bit, but it takes a while to do so. So you have some time to work it. Really, really good for liquid matte eyeshadows. I think when I always start to play around with liquid eyeshadows, I use them the way I would use powder eyeshadows, which is kind of stupid. Liquid eyeshadows or cream eyeshadows, I feel like a one and done look is great, or 2 tops, but I start to go in and really try and imitate what I would do with powder shadows, which is, you know, a little bit more dimension here, maybe some like halo situation in the middle. And I don't think liquid eyeshadows are meant for an entire eye look like that. Anyway, I think this is pretty good in terms of like blending and application. All right, next let's try the Natasha Denona I Need a Warm eyeshadow palette. Here are all 15 shades. And let's do some swatches of all 15. So I'm gonna go, how am I gonna do this? I'm actually gonna go top to bottom, left to right. So first we have Soft Spot, Elm, Pep, Fancy, and then Snug and Homey. These are of the 2 new Metal Gloss finishes. Next we have Mellow, Vim, Hanker, Phenomena, Push, Dynamism, Ripe, Fervor, and Flashover. Flashover is also of a new formula, which is the Slip Cream Matte formula. I'm going to start with my Refer number 15 brush. I'm going to go into Mellow, and I'm going to apply this the inner portion of my lid. This is actually very similar to that Phoebe shade. Very, very similar. And then I'm going to go into Soft Spot and add this to the outer corner. And then I'm going to take this Builder Pro brush from Sonia G. It's like a small flat shader, and I am going to go into, I want you to try Snug or Homey since this is one of the newer formulas. I'm going to go into Homey. Apply this just over the center of my lid. Really pretty, very, very micro glittery and kind of sheer. How is this described? Let's see. So she describes Metal Gloss. This high foiled, full coverage formula adds a reflective dimension and mesmerizing liquid-like finish to your look. Maybe I need to add more. It's very pretty. I just find it to be very sparkly. And I think that's what she's going for. It's very, very sparkly. I want to use this Flashover shade too, because this is one of the newer formulas. This is the Slip Cream Matte formula, and this is described as A new cream powder formula, velvety smooth, acts like a powder, but glides on like a cream, ensuring long-lasting wear. All right, so I'm going to take my Refer number 13 brush, which is a very small blender brush, and go into Flash Over and add this to the outer corner here. This formula is really interesting. It gives such a nice soft application, and it's really easy to work with. I like this. I like this Slip Cream Matte. And because it's kind of creamy, it's not like powdery looking at all. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? Because I can't stand to look at myself like this. My eyes are so different looking right now, even though the shades are actually kind of similar. The Natasha Denona eye is so much shinier than the Lisa Eldridge. I'm actually gonna put some of this homey shade onto the Lisa Eldridge side. So I'm just gonna use my finger and pick some product up and just tap it down. Oh, and look at that. I think a mixture between using my finger and putting it down on this matte liquid shadow. This homey shade is so much brighter on this side. Let me try my finger over here. Yeah, the finger definitely brightens it up, but using this matte shadow as a base actually really, really amplifies this metal gloss finish. All right, well, good to know. So I do have a new eyeliner I want to try. This is from Makeup Forever. So they have those artist color pencils that you can use, all over your face, eyes, lips, cheeks, or whatever. And they came out with Extreme, Artist Color Pencil Extreme. I think they're just more pigmented, but I've got both here to try. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the plastic off of this pencil. Oh yeah. So here's the Extreme, and then here's the regular Artist Color Pencil. The Extreme pencils feel more like a softer gel. You know how those are much more pigmented and they go on and they're softer and they like glide right over and they leave like a really, really, really strong mark. That's what these Extreme pencils feel like. Oh, this says this is a lip liner. Oh, I think I can use this for my eyes though. This is the color. It's a nice deep, rich brown. I think I can use this on my eyes. Why not? Okay. Gonna go ahead and draw over my lashes and under. Really easy to use. They're kind of, I wonder if it's because it's supposed to be a lip liner. It's kind of tacky. Well, I think it works really well as an eyeliner, for sure. I like these. Okay, let me go ahead and curl my eyelashes. I have a new mascara from Sarah Creole that I want to try. All right, so this mascara is called Back of the Cab, and this is in the shade Black Lacquer. Ooh, neat package, shiny chrome, and then it's got this interesting contour here. Wow. Here is the brush. Kind of same idea as the tube, the actual tube. Very nice lash definition. And I like the texture of the mascara. It's not too wet. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Now we have a bunch of these Laura Mercier lipsticks that I want to try. So I pulled out 4, even though when they launched this new line, they came out with a ton of shades. But I thought, let's start with these 4. So let me do some swatches. This is what the packaging looks like. It's magnetic. And here's what the bullet looks like. There's an LM printed at the top, and these pull right out and go right back in. Very easy. Okay, here are the 4 shades that I took out. This one is Pink Chiffon. This is Blush Chenille. This is Mauve Charmeuse. And this one is Brown Suede. I love how every shade name incorporates like an actual color and then a material. I love that. Here is Pink Chiffon. That's very pretty. This color is perfect. I love it. Absolutely love it. The texture is very thin, very, very slippy. And for a matte lipstick, it definitely is smoothing in that I don't feel like it's picking up the texture of my lips, which I feel like a lot of matte lipsticks just end up doing, whether or not I've just exfoliated my lips or I feel like my lips are looking good that day, picks up lip skin where I didn't know I had lip skin. Anyway, this is not doing that, which is very nice. The fragrance of these is very interesting because it's not just, there's like just the slightest hint of like a sweetness, but then there's like a floral. And I would say like the strength of the fragrance is like it's like a medium. It's definitely unique. I don't think I've ever smelled a lipstick like this. Anyway, this is Pink Chiffon. Here is Blush Chenille. This is a little bit peachier, a little bit warmer than Pink Chiffon. I think you can really appreciate how matte these lipsticks are, yet how smoothing they are in this color because it is a teensy bit lighter. I have to say, these are pretty magical in that they don't make my lips look dry at all. For a matte lipstick, that's not bad. That is not bad. So that is Blush Chenille. Oh, and before I forget, let me take out this Tom Ford lip liner that I got from Nordstrom. I really had a hard time figuring out which shade to get because they had so many that were basically nude. But I got 103 Irresistible. Here's what the packaging looks like, very Tom Ford. No, I thought maybe this twisted at the bottom. It does not. It is one that you sharpen. So there is Irresistible. Let me put this on. I'm trying Mauve Charmeuse next. I think this may be a good match. If not, this would be a great match for the Pink Chiffon, the first shade that I tried. That glided on really easily. There's a little bit of like tack to it, so it's probably going to stay put, much like the concealer. Okay, let me try this Mauve Charmeuse shade. I don't think this lip liner is a good match for this lipstick shade. Wow, this Mauve Charmeuse is much deeper than I thought it would be. It's pretty, it's more dramatic. All right, so that is Mauve Charmeuse. Oh yeah, that lip liner is hard to remove. Oh wow. But it's not drying though. It doesn't feel uncomfortable. Huh. All right, next up is Brown Suede. If you want a 90s lip, Brown Suede may be the one for you. I will say, the fragrance, it's like I'm starting to be able to taste it. If that bothers you, I think you may not like these lipsticks. Other than that, I think they're beautiful. I love that they're matte, but that they feel really creamy and they don't make my lips look dry. It's like actually kind of magical. Really, really beautiful. All right, one last thing. I want to try this Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Soft Setting Spray. So I'm going to shake this up. Nice fine spray. Okay, it dries pretty quickly, which is nice. It doesn't feel sticky or anything like that. All right, well, those were all of the new makeup products that I could squeeze onto my face today. I think the big winner for today's try-on is the Westman Atelier concealer. I am so impressed at the level of coverage and how it just kind of becomes one with your skin. Like, it's just completely undetectable. It's really incredible. I think this is the big, big winner for today. Other callouts, the Laura Mercier lipstick. I'm surprised at how matte this lipstick looks, but how smooth my lips look as well. Pretty incredible. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.